is your name?
My name's Timmy.
Hi. What is your relation to recovery?
Wow, I have lots of relations. I'm the operational manager of a recovery cafe. I'm a member of 12-step groups. I am an addict and an alcoholic, and I am the son of adult. My parents were both alcoholics. So yeah, lots of connections, you would say.
Cool. What does recovery mean to you?
Oh, it means that you're actually, it's a lifestyle of actually trying to better yourself, to overcome your past discretions involving substances. It could be anything, though. It could be stress eating. It could be Cheetos, Fritos, Doritos, Netflix, internet shopping. I should recover from buying too much fishing gear I don't need.
Yeah, cool.
You probably buy too much clothes.
I do.
Okay. Yeah, we all have our little problems.
Yeah. Okay, how has overdose affected your life?
Man, I mean, starting way back in the day. So I'm 61 years old, and I had a friend of mine OD in 1984 from heroin. But nowadays, it just seems like another overdose just happened, and it's kind of like school shootings, man. It doesn't even faze us anymore. It just happened. I have worked in the recovery field for the last 5 years or so. So there's a lot of people that have crossed my path that are no longer with us. I had a roommate actually OD while I was at the house, and all of that. That was awful. So yeah, it's touched me greatly.
Do you have any message that you'd like to share?
Just that overdose is here. It's real. It's not something that needs to be pushed aside. It's something that needs to be addressed and talked about. More and more, our society seems to have less empathy and sympathy for those that are succumb to drugs and alcohol. And I think I would like a little more compassion out there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What is your name?
Doug.
Hi, Doug. What is your relation to recovery?
I am a recovering alcoholic addict.
And what does recovery mean to you?
Honestly, it gave me my life back. If I wouldn't have stopped when I did, I don't think I'd be here doing this interview right now, honestly.
How has overdose affected your life?
Well, one, I was about 15 years old, and my uncle passed away from a heroin overdose. And unfortunately, my dad's the one who found him, and the needle was still in his arm. A few months ago, when I decided to change my life and get straightened up, my son's best friend died from a fentanyl overdose. He just turned 16 years old. Yeah, that's what's affected me. And like I said before, if I wouldn't have stopped, it got me thinking it could be me. So it was time to change my life, grow up, be a dad and the man I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. Do you have any message that you'd like to share?
Especially for the young kids, I know the peer pressure is horrible. I was a young kid myself. If you have a chance, don't, please. Stuff that's out there now, it just kills. It's no fun. And even with the other drugs and alcohol, yeah, at first it's fun, go party, have a few with your buddies, kick a few back. But for someone like me, and this is coming from someone like me, don't. Because you may have that beast army inside you, and all it takes is that one time, and you release them, and then you end up in a whole world of trouble. It's not something you want, trust me, guys.
Thank you. What is your name?
My name is John.
What is your relation to recovery?
Well, I've been clean and sober for a little over 4 years now. I also work in a men's treatment facility, and I am an active member in 12-step fellowships.
Awesome. What does recovery mean to you?
A better life. It means an opportunity to help people who are still suffering. And it means just living a life built on spiritual principles. Happiness.
And how has overdose affected your life?
I've known a lot of people who have overdosed. Some of them died. Some of them lucky enough not to. Watching the loved ones of those people is particularly devastating, you know. I don't know, it's just a tough thing. It's a reality of the disease, you know.
Have you overdosed?
I have, yeah. I didn't die.
No, you didn't. Well, I'm glad you're still here.
Yeah.
And is there any message that you would like to share?
Recovery is possible. There is hope, you know, don't give up. There's a lot of stigma and still some ignorance surrounding the disease of addiction, which is fine, but the good thing is more and more professionals in the medical field and, you know, law enforcement are starting to understand the disease. So help is more readily available to people suffering, so just reach out. If you know somebody or if you're struggling yourself, don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. What is your name?
Betsy.
And Betsy, what is your relation to recovery?
Well, I have been in recovery for 33 years for my own addiction, and longer than that for codependency. So
Quite a lot of recovery.
alcohol and drugs were both issues for me, but yeah, I'm doing pretty well these days. I still have the mental obsession every once in a while, though, so I do go to lots of meetings still, and I really recommend that for people.
Mm-hmm. And I know that's been a great way that I've gotten to know you in the community. So what does recovery mean to you?
Oh, it's everything. I mean, it means being honest, you know, powerless. I know I'm powerless over alcohol and drugs. I can't even take one. Just like in codependency, if I'm trying to control somebody, the minute I catch myself trying to do that, I need to stop. With my food issues, I also have those. I have to be careful of sugar. It'll just set me off, you know. Just a big thing is staying away from that first one. Bite or drug or drink or whatever it is. Doing whatever it takes. Picking up the phone, going to a meeting, reading the literature. We have so many tools. And praying, that's a big one. I have a strong relationship with God, and it really makes a big difference. All the difference, really.
Cool. So how has overdose affected your life?
Well, one night I actually ate nutmeg, and I was very sick. I don't know if I was close to having an overdose. I don't even know if you can overdose on nutmeg, but I was really sick. And so it kind of showed me how really quickly something could happen, and you could just, you know, it could be out of control. So I've been fortunate I didn't ever overdose, but I feel like I understand what it could be like. And I have had recently a couple people overdose. One was on purpose, one was not. And the one that was on purpose was a friend of my daughter's who was actually really in recovery really well and helped my daughter a lot of times when my daughter was having problems. And I was really proud of her for how much she had progressed. So it was a really big shock when she died. The other one, she was the fiance of my grandson's dad, and they had just decided one night, they'd both been in recovery for a couple of years, oh, we're bored, let's have a drink. And before you knew it, there they were, using heroin, and I guess she actually had a fentanyl overdose. And she had been a manager of a recovery house for women. Just so shocking and so sad, such a waste. So we went to the overdose awareness last year. My grandson and I both put up something to honor her, and because she was really important in his life for a couple of years. He would go with his dad and her for Sundays to go have fun and hang out. So it's had a big effect on him too.
Well, thank you very much for that, Betsy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any message you'd like to share?
Well, probably the number one thing is do not take that first one. I don't care if you're bored. Don't take that first one. Go find somebody to help. You know, that's what the big book says is when we have that urge or whatever, go help somebody. Do something for somebody else. And the big book talks about trust God, clean house, and help others. So all those things are important, and I just hope that people will do whatever it takes not to take that first one. And I wish blessings on everybody in recovery and all their family members too.
Thank you, Betsy.
Thank you. Bye.
What is your name?
My name's Harlan Olson.
What is your relation to recovery?
Well, I currently work at Legacy Lodge Treatment Center, and I'm in 12-step programs and in recovery for the last 6 years myself.
And what does recovery mean to you?
Recovery, to me, it means everything. I mean, it took me from having nothing to having everything, having a life worth living.
And how has overdose affected your life?
Well, I think just like anybody, overdose has affected everybody's life in some way, but I'm not going to get into any specific stories, but I mean, in the last year or two, I don't think I've had a 2-week span where I don't know somebody that's overdosed and died.
Do you have any message you'd like to share?
The only message that I would like to share is that it's possible. It's possible to come back from this. It's possible to get a life worth living. You might think that you've gone too far. I was 46 years old when I got clean. I didn't think that, I thought it was too late that that's what I was a drug addict, but that's just not true. I have an amazing life now with my family, and you can come back from this.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Hi, what is your name?
I'm Larissa.
And what is your relation to recovery?
Well, my relationship to recovery is a multitude of things. I myself am in recovery. I have been for almost the last 4 years. I also work in a recovery center. I work at the Recovery Cafe, and I'm a floor support for other members that are in recovery from mental health and different addictions.
And what does recovery mean to you?
Recovery to me, there's so much depth to recovery. It's not just about abstaining from something. Recovery is being able to get ourselves back to that healing point. To heal from our traumas that created the addictions in the first place. To be able to see beyond just that addict that so many people just want to cast aside. Those addicts are our children. And a lot of it came from childhood trauma. No one ever decides they want to be an addict. No little kid grows up. And so recovery, I believe, is healing those wounds to get them back to their original state that God intended us to be.
I love that. How has overdose affected your life?
Overdose has hit my family very hard. My son struggled in addiction for a long time, and we lost him 6 years ago to a heroin overdose. And it kind of devastated my entire life, and it's been really hard. This will be the first year that I'm actually doing a walk, that I've had the courage to actually walk for my son, and we're gonna make shirts, and my daughter and I are gonna walk. But yeah, it was a lot because he wasn't there in our life for a long time while he was suffering in his addiction, and overdose is a real thing. And not only have I lost my son, but I've lost several people in my community to overdose. That's been unbelievably traumatic. And as you can hear, our puppy is very moved by it as well.
Do you want me to hold her? There you go, there you go. Okay. Slight interference. So Larissa, do you have any message that you'd like to share?
Just to remember that, you can hate the addiction, but, love the addict, because we lose our people in addiction, and those children that we once had, that we once loved and held so dearly, they don't become bad people. their addiction leads them to bad things. And I hope and pray that anybody that's watching this can realize that they don't just walk over some junkie and just think, oh, that's just some loser addict. No, they're not. That's someone's child that went through hell, that is trying to cope with that ended up in this downward spiral due to their addiction. And in the process of addiction, we often lose our humanity, and it destroys our minds. And I just hope that people can see more compassion and have more of an understanding that these are human beings that just desperately need to be seen and met with love, and that maybe we can have more grace for them. Our puppy is very passionate about it too. So, you know, I ask that you just love people out there. If you run across somebody, if you can't be kind, and just please don't do more harm. You know?
I agree.
So, yeah.
Thanks, Larissa.
Thanks, Carolyn. I appreciate you doing this for our community.
Thank you. And then we. What is your name?
My name is Terrence Erickson.
And Terrence, what is your relation to recovery?
I am 7 months clean. I am working the steps, and this is my first time just diving right in, no reservations, and completely serious about it.
Great. What does recovery mean to you?
Oh, it means exactly what that word implies. Recovery of things lost, getting family back, get my license back, getting my life back. It implies just blessings. It implies positivity, and it implies just getting everything back in order and even better than it was.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
How has overdose affected your life?
Oh, yeah, that's it's sobering. I lost my best friend, Mike Putman, when I was quite a bit younger, and it's been friend after friend. And since fentanyl hit, it's just been it's affected my life. By everybody I'm around are playing with death every time they're touching fentanyl, so it's affected my life big time.
Do you have any message that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I do. For anybody out there that's still using, just realize the risk you're taking. Think about, say, if your life got cut off today, because that's a very real chance when you're out there using right now. Think about all the years. Think about the 40, 50 years you're cutting off your life. Think about the people you're affecting. Think about the missed opportunities. If you're down in a depression and you're feeling like, what's the point anyways? These things come and go, and you can get past them. There's a recovery network near you that's ready to take you in their arms. Just think about all the life that you would be wasting, and just put that shit down.
Thank you very much, Terrence.
You're welcome.
What is your name?
My name is Jason.
And what is your relation to recovery?
I am a recovering heroin addict, and I have 10 years clean since March of 2013.
Cool. What does recovery mean to you?
Recovery means everything to me. I couldn't function. I couldn't do anything. I was a deadbeat dad. I was useless to anybody and everybody that I loved, and recovery has allowed me to become a parent, to become present in the lives of my family, and to be available and useful.
And how has overdose affected your life?
Overdose has affected my life. I myself have overdosed probably more times than I can count on both hands. I've witnessed overdoses. I've had to live with the guilt of friends who overdosed when I was using with them. I think back when I was getting high, none of us were keeping Narcan readily available on us. And back then, I guess the laws have changed a little bit now, but nobody, if your buddy keels over and he's overdosing, nobody wants to pick up the phone and call 911 because everybody in the house has warrants and everybody's afraid to deal with the consequences of that. And I've had people run on me, and I don't even remember what the question was.
Yeah, how has overdose affected your life?
Oh, and it's affected my life in that way, so that I've dealt with the guilt of all that. I've had people bail out on me, and thankfully I made it through those overdoses myself. Since I've got clean and sober, I've had loved ones overdose, family members who are close to me overdose, and it's kind of a trip when you're on the recovery side of things and you get to see it from that light. It's entirely different because I was the overdose guy for so long, and yeah.
Yeah, that sounds hard.
Yeah.
Do you have a message that you'd like to share?
Yeah. Well, aside from the recovery is possible thing, which I think that you and myself are both living, breathing proof of that, right? If I could go back in time and I was put in those situations again, I'll be the first to admit I have been that guy who gets up and runs when somebody around me, OD'd. And looking back, I feel horrible about it, right? Thankfully they made it, but a human life is so much more important than worrying about fucking getting locked up on a warrant or something. You know what I mean? Because I haven't been out there, I haven't been in a trap house in a long time, but I know it's still the same as it was then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
What is your name?
My name is Charles Anthony Diaz.
Okay. What is your relation to recovery?
My relation to recovery is working a faith-based religion because it's important to me, because I have relapsed multiple times and woken up in the hospital a few different times. So the recovery part to me is very helpful in being with God, my higher power, which however you want to put that. Everybody has their own different higher power. So mine is church and God and stuff like that. So yeah, that is a huge part, because it's I've been blessed to still be alive, really.
Cool. What does recovery mean to you?
Recovery means to me is taking it 24 hours a day, because it is super important to not future trip, but you need to take it one step, one day at a time. And I think it's a big part of not going out and just living the day and not going out and doing something different that like you're thinking about doing, because I have relapsed, and it's something if I was to think about, and if I had time by myself, I probably would, I wouldn't, but it puts that thought process in your mind. So it's super important to me to keep busy, be active with the recovery and a part of the community, and work my steps and do everything that I need to do to stay sober.
I like that. And how has overdose affected your life?
Whew, yeah, overdose has been a hard thing, because I've had to call my parents when I was in the hospital, and I don't know how I got there. And I feel that I've been blessed with with the first chance, second chance, and it's just hard to imagine my family having to go through that kind of stuff. So it has been really affected with my, I put it into my recovery. So I'm trying to do the right thing, trying to build those relationships again, and trying to get back so I can enjoy the rest of my life.
Do you have a message you'd like to share?
Yes, I would, absolutely. The message that I would like to share is I hope that with the stuff that's out there this day and age, for you not to have to roll that dice every day. And if you can, that's why we're here doing this right now, so we can get the message out to people that need that help, and the help is right there for you. So I take it from my own experiences, and I've been blessed to have that opportunity, and it's really making a big difference in my life. So, yeah.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
My name is Mike Kersey. I'm an addict. My clean date is October 8th, 1999. My relationship to recovery is so I got here through the court systems, and I had a probation officer that was going to give me 5 years if I didn't get clean. And so through that process, I started going to a lot of meetings, and I liked what I heard. I actually went to my very first meeting when I was about 18 years old, and at that time there wasn't many NA meetings in Everett, Washington, so I went to one NA meeting. It was at a school, or not a school, I'm sorry. One NA meeting was in a restaurant in Everett, and other than that, I'd go to AA meetings. But what recovery has meant to me is because of the 12-step programs, my life has come full circle. I went from running amok, in and out of jails, institutions. I just wasn't a very good guy overall. I thought I was. I thought I was a great guy. I thought I was a good dad. My wife left me, packed up my kids in the middle of the night and took off. I didn't get clean for another 10 years after that. But the 12 steps really changed my life. Full circle. So today I work with recovering addicts, and I love that work. That's my passion. And it's pretty much as you notice, it's pretty much 7 days a week. There's a lot of people out there that need help, and I got kind of into this through a nonprofit, and I worked with a number of nonprofits through the years, and in the last 5 years we started our own nonprofit where we do get people into detox treatment and housing, and that's Courage to Change Recovery Services. My message to people is probably what my sponsor used to tell me. And I still hear him. He died when I was about 5 years clean, and that man, he had bone cancer, and he wouldn't take any pain medications. I mean, he must have been in just terrible, agonizing pain, and I was just a blithering idiot. Went in and he goes, "Mike, you got to let me go." And I said to him, I'm not ready. And he goes, "Well, I am." And but he asked me one favor, and that favor was that I take care of his widow and help her do whatever she might need. And to this day we talk, every week, at least once a week. get connected, go to meetings. I've got 23 years clean. I still go to meetings because it brings me back to where I need to be. I see people suffering, in the rooms, and it's selfish a little bit for me, because I come to meetings to hear other people's stories and how they're struggling, and maybe get to talk to them after the meeting that, we do recover, and my life has come full circle. I can't even tell you where I was back then compared to now. I was a different person, and NA has changed my life. I can't even describe it today. I'm just grateful, and if you're struggling out there and you need help, don't hesitate to reach out. Anyway, thanks. And anything else you want?
No, that was perfect. Thanks,
right.
Mike.
Yeah.
So, what's your name?
My name is Carolyn.
Okay, Carolyn. What is your relation to recovery?
I grew up in a family in recovery. I have multiple family members with long-term sobriety, and I myself am in recovery from addiction and mental health.
Okay, yeah. What does recovery mean to you?
To me, recovery is a lifestyle. It's a daily effort to better your life and to practice healthier coping skills, healthier habits, to build habits. For a lot of people, it's a second chance at life, or for some people, it's even a first chance at life. So for me, it's something I've dedicated my life to making myself the best version of me I can.
Okay, and how has overdose affected your life?
I've lost a few friends to overdose, and it's really devastating every time you get the news that another person has died, because it always takes me back to that first time I got the news that someone died, and it just keeps happening. I think it's something that we grieve collectively in our community because it hits all of us at some point or another. We all do lose people. I don't know anyone in recovery who hasn't lost someone to overdose.
Okay. Do you have a message you want to share with anybody?
I think that there's a huge stigma against addiction and overdose, and I want to remind people that we all have valuable lives, whether you're an addict or not. Every addict's life matters, whether they get sober or not. We all deserve a chance at life. So if you know someone's struggling with addiction, be there for them, encourage them. And if you're like me and you have people in your life who struggle to get sober and it affects you, there are programs and support groups for family of addicts. So I hope everyone the best on their recovery journey, whether it's in or out of addiction.
Thank you.
What is your name?
My name is Shelly.
And what is your relation to recovery?
My relation to recovery is that I am a recovering addict. I have 5.5 years clean, and I also work in the treatment field now, helping other addicts to get clean.
Cool. What does recovery mean to you?
Recovery to me means changing, not just being sober or clean. It's changing the thought processes that led us to use in the first place, changing the behaviors that led us to using, so that we aren't as likely to go back. It's a whole lifestyle change, not just stopping the use. It's about changing the behaviors.
Cool. How has overdose affected your life?
So I've had quite a bit of overdose experience, not with myself overdosing, but so my first experience was I had a roommate who that was living in a recovery house with him, and he relapsed and went to treatment and came back, and that day he used again and died. And that was really traumatic. But the most traumatic, life-impacting overdose experience that I have I was hanging out in a drug house. I was homeless at the time. I didn't have anywhere to live, so I was hanging out in this drug house all the time, and it was a 2-story house, and I remember some people came in to use the bathroom upstairs to get loaded. And I was standing downstairs, and I heard a thud hit the floor, and I knew immediately that it was a person that hit the floor, and I ran up the stairs, and this guy was dragging this girl out of the bathroom, and he just threw her in this heap of dirty laundry, slapped her in the face a couple of times, and she wasn't coming out of it, and he grabbed all his drugs, and he fled, and everybody in the house was freaking out, and nobody knew what to do. People were running, people were screaming, don't call 911. I did call 911. Like nobody knew what to do. Finally, one guy came out of one of the rooms and he was doing some, the best he could with CPR with her, and he was able to keep her alive until the paramedics came. But it was so traumatic for me to see that, like seeing her color change, and just nobody wanted to help her. Everybody was just running crazy. Nobody knew what to do. They were scared they were going to get busted or whatever. And that had such a traumatic impact on me. I didn't want to end up that way, I got clean not really long after that because I just thought how horrible it would be for my family or somebody to find out that I had died in a dirty pile of laundry or something somewhere. Like I didn't want that to be how my life ended up. So that's a big reason why I got clean, is I not want to end up like that girl and have nobody wanting to help me or save me, and just like throw me in a dirty pile of laundry and leave me. So yeah,
that's really heartbreaking to hear, especially
it's
like knowing so many people that I value so much have been in her shoes. And to think that like everybody's lives matter.
Yeah, she was a young mom. I knew she had children, and I was like, oh my God, you guys can't just leave her there. She's a mom. She has children, like somebody do something, do something. And everybody's just running and freaking out. Yeah, it was really scary.
That is really scary. Do you have any message you'd like to share?
My message would be that if you're out there and you're still using, carry Narcan with you, have a plan, don't use alone. I don't know, I guess I would say that, talk to the people you're using with and say, like, if I overdose, please help me, use Narcan, call 911, do those things, don't run and leave me here. I don't think you get arrested for calling 911 when somebody overdoses. So I guess always have a plan, know how to use Narcan, and get help. Like, just plan ahead, because it's going to happen. If you're out there using, eventually it's going to happen. You're either going to be the one overdosing or you're going to be witnessing it. So have a solid plan in place on what that's going to look like what you're going to do, so that you don't panic and just bail out and run. Don't leave somebody lying dead in a pile of laundry or on the side of the road or wherever. Have a plan, call for help. That would be my message.
Thank you, Shelley.
You're welcome.